Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, which is going to be Real Housewives of New York Reunion Part 1, Jeff Lewis Live. Oh my goodness. I hope you're having an amazing day. I guess it's called Ken's Day, according to Lakendra Tukes. So we will talk about that. Why don't I keep saying, Lakendra Tukes. I keep saying her last name wrong. Anyways, we will chat about that. Thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button, hitting the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see one person that's just making it to a live. Welcome, Lola. How are you? Get comfortable in comments. We love hearing what you're doing, where you're from. I just posted the video link to come on with a question or comment. We like to do that more towards the end. But the link is also in the banner right below the little, whatever that thing is called. So anyways, let's get into it. I'm going to take that off because it drives me nuts and just distracts me a little bit. So, oh my gosh. Okay. We are going to chat the latest podcast that Jeff Lewis was on. Brandi Glanville and her upcoming surgery, how my Wegovy is doing. I take my third shot tonight, and new information about ChumpCon. Oh my gosh. And of course, we're going to chat Real Housewives of New York City reunion, the Brent of it all, the other cast of it all, the abortion of it all, the sexual assault of it all. And then, of course, I want to hear your thoughts, and I've got mine on lab-grown diamonds. I want to hear your thoughts on Lakendra Tukes' dating not situation, her dating philosophy. That's a good word for it, her dating philosophy. So, oh my gosh, I love that, y'all. Michelle works at a dog spa, and she's in Las Vegas. It says tons of doggies here getting their spa days. I love that. Luna is going to get a trim very soon. She gets a bath there too, but we do it for the trim and the anal glands expression. Yeah, because who wants to do that nonsense, right? And I've tried. It doesn't come out. I'm like, I've tried to push. I'm like getting her to stand still. Anyways, okay. Let's chat. I did listen to the Christian Snow, whatever his name is, and Vicky Gunvalson's podcast. Who knows the name? It's my friends, my podcast, whatever. Jeff Lewis was on it. Jeff Lewis has not promoted it, which I don't know that he promotes any of the podcasts that he goes on. I just thought it was pretty boring. I didn't love Christian's intro. He said he was going to sprinkle some Instagram questions from the fans there. He didn't ask one question from a fan that I noticed. It's 3 of them on the screen. Jeff Lewis, whoever had that watch with them, I know Shane was right next to it. He had like on a dark colored shirt against a dark background. I mean, it looked like his head was popping out. Like people are making fun of his appearance and taking screenshots of how he looked. And I'm like, it just wasn't the best lighting or something was going on. He's a very handsome man. So I don't really know why it looked like he was didn't look like his best look. Vicky, of course, is too busy to do a podcast yet. She's so trying to beat Tamra Judge in the podcast game, which is absolutely never going to happen with Tamra's game in it with her podcast now. But she's so busy that she had to do the podcast from her, her office. It was just weird. I didn't love it. It's called I Proved Bravo Wrong was the name of the podcast. I'm like, nothing about that proved Bravo wrong. All I got from it is the same story, which I get. If their audience, if Vicky Gunval's audience has whatever their podcast is called, I've got a link up it on my story and in the Facebook group, the Sarah from Texas Facebook group. If there's people that don't know who Jeff Lewis is, which I don't know, I think our audience is crossover with Vicky Gunvalson, then people are going to learn about him. But I'm like, there was nothing new on that for me. Nothing at all. My friend, my soulmate, my podcast is the name of the podcast, which is horrible name. And I've said this before. I've got it from very reputable sources that Vicky Gunvalson is only doing a podcast because she wants to get back at Tamra Judge. She wants so badly to beat Tamra Judge in the podcast game, and it's just simply not happening. But anyways, I thought it was poorly produced. She's been doing this podcast with Christian for a while now, I think. somebody's computer, it was all on Zoom, which is never my favorite, but it is what it is. There's 3 of them up. Somebody's computer was dinging. Somebody's other thing was making noise. I'm like, I don't know if that stuff can be taken out post-production. I mean, if anyone complains about how crappy produced my show is, I do everything myself. I am a 51-year-old mom of 5 teaching myself anything and everything that I can. I've paid a few people to help me. Some have helped. Some have just taken my $499 and given me nothing. You know, you know. And other things I've just taught myself or learned over the years, right? I just thought the production was crappy. Jeff Lewis's lighting was bad. I didn't think that it was well planned out. It felt like a 39-minute commercial for Vicky Gunvalson to put herself back on TV. And of course, a groveling session of like, oh, I shouldn't have gone on that reality documentary thing and said that, you know, I would never forgive Bravo because now it's biting me in the ass. And she's like, my phone's not ringing. I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, I don't know. My highs and lows, my love-hate relationship with Vicky Gunvalson, because it just sounds so, I'm like, you have a full life. You own 3 homes outright. You let us know. You've got a very successful business. You've got 2 grown adults. You've got 4 or 5 grandchildren now. I mean, your love tank is filled, allegedly. You never left your day job. Thank goodness. Because I do love and respect that Vicky Gunvalson came on as an OG original housewife and had a career and a job, and she never gave it up. So she came on OC at age 43. So she had that career since she was 28 years old. So I do love that. And I agree with what she and Jeff were saying about the newer housewives is a lot of them don't have jobs. They don't have careers. We all don't understand why some of them choose to put themselves out there for the fame because they're not doing it for money. I mean, basically Jeff and Vicky are like, we already had careers. We stumbled into reality TV and we're using it for the money, like to make some coins. The fame is great, but the fame leads to more coins because then you get paid more for your appearances, you know, another contract, all of that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But nothing, as a fan of Jeff Lewis, nothing about that taught me anything new about him. Now, some people didn't know everything and they are thinking that he said this for the first time. But when he said that he was kind of, in hindsight now, he's grateful that Flipping Out was not renewed because he said he spiraled and he said, I would have been canceled. Like I would have done or said things. He's like, if you think I was an asswipe in, 2009 Flipping Out, he's like, you should have seen me in 2018 or 19 if that show would have continued. So clearly he's glad that cameras weren't up and because if he'd have gotten canceled, then his career could have been gone forever. And instead he was off TV for a year-ish. But then he started Jeff Lewis Live Radio a couple days a week. And now it's obviously up to 5. Then he got Hollywood House Lift. Now he maybe has Flipping Out 2.0, which he still didn't really have an update for. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Wait, Deja Monet says Bravo confirmed that they don't care about Vicky. What they did to her in regards to her mother was horrible. And instead of apologizing on behalf of production, they just washed their hands with her. Yeah, I agree that was awful. Apparently, the story is that her mom, we know her mom passed away suddenly. So it's not like she was like on with her phone, like, oh, my mom is sick. She might pass away or something. Her mom passed away suddenly with no warning. And Brianna was trying to reach Vicky and they waited like an hour and a half to tell her that her mom had passed away because they were setting up the cameras to ask her about it and tell her about it. So yeah, is it awful? Yeah, but so stop begging to go back to them. I mean, that's pretty much your MO, Vicky, is begging to get back on Bravo. So if they did something so horrible to you, then put your money where your mouth is and be like, fuck off, Bravo. You did me dirty and you never apologize. And now you make me a friend of, and now you make me beg. No, you've got your own career and insurance. Like, keep it on. You know what I mean? May Boo says, I didn't know he asked for the job at Bravo. Yeah, when he said, "Hey, they let me go. Now's my chance. I need a job." So yeah, he said all this before on different podcasts or on his own show because I knew it all, and I clearly don't talk to Jeff like that. So I know he said it other places, but it's a great podcast. If people don't always listen to Jeff's podcast, or they don't catch his show all the time, or they don't watch me, and I tell you everything about it. So I just thought it wasn't anything good. I didn't love the just Vicky begging for another show, like, "Oh, I think multiple times she said, "I should have never done that documentary because it bit me in the butt." And then Andy believed that I didn't want to go back on. Well, yeah. I mean, you were pretty much saying, "I'll never forgive them for doing that to me." And then you're like, "Oops, didn't mean that. Call me." Anyways, but the low quality was really irritating because the dinging and the like, fix that. You know what I mean? I just thought it was kind of weird. LTD says, "I heard the people on that documentary made $2,500. I hope it was worth it, Vicky." Yeah, I mean, does she need $2,500? Like, what is she doing? Like, clearly that might have been the reason she's saying that Bravo didn't hire her back. They didn't call her, is because they thought that was basically her saying, "Look, I'm done. Y'all did me dirty." And to me, on Bravo's behalf, it's like, yeah, maybe, like Jeff did. Jeff was very clear about it. Hey, saying, "Hey, that's not Bravo's fault. That is the dirty producer's fault. Like, they should be getting trouble, not the executives at Bravo. It's not Bravo per se. It's the producers that are there thinking, oh, we're going to make this into a storyline. We're going to catch it on camera as soon as Vicky finds out her mother passed away." Yeah. I mean, yeah, Michael Riley. I mean, I kind of call it as I see it. Michael Riley says she's a grubber. I think that means, like, I don't know. Mabu says to be in the spotlight and fame hungry. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Louise says the production didn't bother me as much as how bad Jeff looked. His eyes looked like he had. People were DMing me and asking if he had bad plastic surgery on his eyes, and I'm like, I don't know of any eye surgery that he's. Or maybe y'all said that during the show yesterday. I can't remember. I don't know. Didn't love it. Speaking of bad plastic surgery, hopefully she's going to have good surgery. Brandi Glanville has announced that Terry Dubrow has offered to do like a skin. Is it biopsy or something? Something to figure out what is going on to cause this thing on her face that is kind of coming and going related to stress, she says, that is related now from the girls' Ultimate Girls Trip. That's never going to air, and there's lawsuits going on and all the things, you know what I mean? I just saw some clips of her over the weekend. I assume they were current, where she like hopped on a TMZ bus. She had this very barely there black dress on. It looked a little sleazy to me. It wasn't my favorite Brandi Glanville look. Y'all know I love my Brandi Glanville, but just the thirst traps and the what do you call it when you post, like when you're posting to get clickbait, all the clickbait. I'm like, just who do we need to get? How can we give you $100? That way we can stop with all these clickbaits, because it's really gross and embarrassing. The clickbait 2 hours ago, and it's always, hashtag RIP, click here, reality star dead. I mean, okay, it's probably someone no one even knows. She has no relationship to them, and she's trying to be like TMZ on her own or something. So I don't know. Y'all love my Brandi, but sometimes what she wears, sometimes the clickbait is really getting on my last nerve. But hopefully Terry Dubrow is going to come to help with her. Okay, I made a video about it. This ChumpCon is getting a little bit worrisome to me. Like I said yesterday, he announced this January 6th. I feel like, and I'm no marketing expert, I feel like all the ducks should have been in a row. The insurance, what chumps, the days and times, the prices, the website built out, the contract signed. Should have been done. Maybe you could tease it. Oh, coming soon. Maybe we're going to have a big fan con. Even Las Vegas, you could say, stay tuned for the. But it was said specifically that in 14 days, tickets would go on sale. Well, that date came and went. The latest was that it was going to come later this week, which today's already Wednesday. Now it's saying maybe next week. The way Shane hesitated when Jade asked yesterday, what's going on with ChumpCon? And Shane was like, it's happening. I was like that did not. Let me see if I can play it. I'm not sure. I already made a video about it, but I will try to play the video for y'all now, or the audio, because we have no more video. Oh my gosh. I might have deleted it already. I'm not sure. Let's see if this is it. Layoffs are video. Nope, that's the layoff stuff. Okay, I think I already deleted it. But anyways, go check out my video. The way Shane said it was like, I don't know. I guess it's all about the insurance and knowing what the price is going to be. Well, all of that should be, they know how many tickets are going to be for sale. They're assuming it's going to be sold out before April 11th, right? So that is the base cost of the whatever. Then they got to subtract, what they're paying the chumps, the travel, the expenses, the insurance, whatever, the attorney. I have no idea what the fees are. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It just seems a little worrisome. People are really, that we're so gung-ho. And now it's like, look, why would I book my tickets so close to the event? It's just making the prices go up and up, right? I mean, the further back you book an airline ticket, the better price in flights that you're usually going to get, especially when talking about Las Vegas in April. So it's making a lot of chumps a little bit nervous, chump fans, chump listeners, because they're contacting me about it. Anyways, okay, Wegovy, I am on my third shot tonight. I have not taken it yet. I'll take it on Wednesday nights now. Last night I was out to dinner. It was such a good place. Nobody there though, so there was no people watching, but we had to go at 5:00 because our 7:00, or was it 7 or 7:30? 7:30, maybe Mean Girls, that we had to drive to. So there was nobody there to people watch. But other than that, the food was really good. They accommodated. I got a cheeseburger that sounded so good, and it was. And instead of fries, I said, "Can you do like broccoli?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, we'll do some like vegetable mix." When I tell you that vegetable mix was everything, like it had so much garlic. I was like, thank goodness I'm with, how many girls were at dinner with us? 11 girls at dinner. One of my close friends didn't see the show because, 10 of us saw the show and 11 of us were at dinner. So anyways, I was like, good, thank goodness I'm with a bunch of girls because, my breath was probably rocking some garlic for sure, but it was so good. I felt like it was somewhat healthy. I felt full. I looked at the dessert menu. Normally I would have devoured a dessert. None of the desserts looked exactly tasty. I put the menu up on my Instagram story. But just with this Wegovy, it's just this bizarre feeling of just like, you care about things. It's not like I'm in a slump. It's not like I'm in a depression. It's not like I'm like blasé. No, not at all. I'm normal. Thank goodness. My side effects are not horrible at all. But I was wondering what people were saying about how it just makes like food a non-issue. But it does. Like I still want to work out. I still want to eat protein. I still want to watch my favorite shows. I still have a love of everything. But it makes the food like a non-issue. Yeah. Tiffany Chump is on it too. And she says, I love not being obsessed with food anymore. I can't agree with you more with these shots. I did spend quite a bit of time on the phone with our insurance today. I am lucky that our insurance is sort of not terrible. I mean, I say this, I don't know. Our Wegovy and what was the other one she said? Wegovy and some other one, Zepbound, are only covered a little bit. But once we hit our complete out of network, which is $8,000, the family deductible, I'm sorry, at $8,100, it's covered at zero. I thought it was going to be $35 a month. But if someone prescribed me Ozempic or Mounjaro, which I think are more specific for diabetes, and I do not have pre-diabetes based on my A1C, thank goodness, those would be 100% free. Crazy. So I'm very, very thankful. I wish everyone, and I hope as the years go on and more research and the drugs get cheaper, that everyone who feels they need this and their doctor feels they need this will be allowed to get this. But in the meantime, there's a lot of safe options to get the compounded stuff, different ways, even for about $200 a month at this point. So I think that is, because honestly, you eat less too, but the happiness, the pride, the self-confidence, the motivation to do other stuff besides thinking about what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then the snacks, and then kicking myself in the ass for eating bad things. You know what I mean? I can't even tell you, Tiffany, I didn't even understand what food noise meant until I took this first shot. Tiffany says, I heard the food noise stops because the food does that to us, and we become addicted to food to keep us coming back. The food noise sucks, but it's not for everyone. So for those that don't understand, the only way I can relate this is alcohol. For me, alcohol is a non-issue, but Jeff Lewis and other chumps have admitted, you come home, you had a rough day, and you want that drink, and then you want 2 drinks, and then you want 3. I don't have that at all. Like, that's just not my coping mechanism. It's not my thing. I never thought of myself of being food obsessed or anything like that. But if you are, and then you take the shot, you really feel the difference. Like, it's crazy. Good question. I answered a lot of these questions. We chatted about this on the podcast a week or 2 ago that I had with Susan Olson. So check that one out, that episode out. But I'll talk about it a little bit more, and then we're going to get into RHONY and Jeff Lewis. Southern Belle Cell says, are you constipated at all? No, but if you know me, I have decades long, possibly a lifetime of unexplained constipation, chronic constipation. So I've been to several GI doctors. So I am on Linzess that I just picked up again because that helps me. And that's a prescription that you need. So I actually started taking my Linzess every day now, which actually makes me a lot more normal and not unconstipated, like to the extreme the other way. So anyways, Mary says, no desire for any alcohol. Yeah. I mean, I've never had a desire for alcohol, smoking, drugs, shopping. I just don't have an addictive personality per se. I might say I get hyper focused on something. Like if I'm going to clean out a closet, that shit's going to get done. If I start listening to Jeff Lewis, I listen every day. Nothing gets in my way. I mean, so I can get fixated on things, but it's never to the negative in my life. You know what I mean? So for other people, though, they're finding out that it takes away that desire to drink alcohol, the desire to smoke, the desire to overshop. I mean, so many things. OCD. They're coming up with so many things that they're now doing other studies on. So I think it's going to be great. AUS says you will save. My contact is blurry. You will save so many calories by not drinking, but my libation is considered my dessert. Oh, drinking. Okay. Yeah. I always say, good Lord, how big would I be if I drank alcohol? Like I always say I eat my calories. I don't drink them, but anyways. Okay. Yes. Good job. Jen Helen says, I'm very grateful that our insurance covers Zepbound. Eating protein and not needing carbs has been so nice. The scale is finally going down. I think I've lost a few pounds. I can really tell, but I'm just not choosing to hyper focus and weigh myself and measure myself and get these apps that y'all are so kindly suggesting to me where I can put in my food or scan the food. I just can't. I just got to eat and be conscious of things. You know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, Christina's like, my credit cards would love for me to stop shopping. I mean, trust me, if y'all saw our credit card bills every month, but it's a family of 7. We don't, but I pay every bill in full and, our bills are paid, but trust me, our credit card bills are big with 5 children, right? Okay, let's chat Real Housewives of New York reunion part 1. I do still have a few more minutes left in it because the Sirius XM gosh dang app was messing up on me again today. I can't tell you how many times. At one point, I had my phone on my side table. Luna was on my bed by herself. Nobody was touching my phone. Nobody is home but me hours ago. I had one AirPod in as I was loading the dishwasher. All of a sudden, I'm listening to Lakendra Tukes, and they were actually talking about diamonds. So it kind of threw me, and the lab-grown diamonds, the real diamonds, from the earth, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I heard another voice talking, and I'm like, no, that's not her. And I'm like, oh, God, that's Kelty Knight. I know, because I'm sort of becoming one of those people now, like, oh, God, that's Kelty Knight. Like, I almost like Kelty Knight less now because she so talks about how much the Jeff Lewis Live listeners don't like her and how much it bothers her and how much she was saying today, Jeff, I just want to be your friend. I just want to be friends with you. I was like, oh, I just want you to invite me more. And I'm like, ugh, like, don't be a pick me girl. It was just like, bleh. Like, have confidence, move on. Don't read the dang comments. Just, you're already a celebrity. You're already rich. You've already got a job on television. You got everything going on. Anyways, it flips over and I'm like, this is Kelty Knight. And I'm like, gosh dang it. Well, then I go back, get my phone. By then you don't have the app. It wasn't hours later when the replay goes up. So then I could have fast forward and found my spot, whatever. You don't have any other option. So I literally had to do that 2 or 3 times where I was listening to the same 7 or 8 minutes of the beginning of the show because it kept messing up on me. It was so annoying. Yeah, what are y'all thinking about Kelty Knight? Like, I just was not feeling her today. Really liked Lakendra Tukes. Love her. Definitely want to hear what y'all think about her. Is she a leopard? Michael Riley says a leopard can't change its spots. Ooh, I didn't know she was a leopard. Okay, let's talk Lakendra Tukes in the first hour with Reza Farahàn. They didn't talk about it, but they at least know of each other through Amy Phillips, because September 2022, I flew out to LA and Amy Phillips was she did do a show that was kind of like a preview to kind of work out the kinks in her show, not her show, her little BravoCon opening act that she was doing. So the tickets were like $25. I found a good flight on LA, went out there to hang out with my former co-host because we were really good friends at that point, and, got us a hotel, had so much fun. But Lakendra Tukes was one of the comedians that was part of this show. So it was like 5 or 6 people, maybe 3 to 5 people on stage. And Reza Farahàn, if you're an OG, because I talked about it, he was the final comedian, like the big guy. He was awful. It was awful. I was like, dude, I thought you were a realtor. Like, I thought you were coming. Because at this time, this is right before BravoCon 2022 in New York City. We thought BravoCon, Shaw's of Sunset was coming back as a reboot because all of Shaw's cast was coming to BravoCon. And yet now it's over 2 years later and they're still not back on TV, right? Yeah, so let me know if you were a fan of Lakendra, if you wanted to come back on again. Let me know when we talk about Kelty, how you think about that. So they know each other because they were there for this night. So I'm assuming they were all hanging out backstage. That's the first time I met MJ in person, because MJ, what's the other girl that smokes a lot, whatever her name is, with the little baby, the one that was just on Jeff Lewis, Reza's husband, Adam, was in the audience. I mean, they were all right there in front of us. So they at least know of each other a lot. So Reza and, of all people, Reza, he's not a funny guy. It was not funny, Louise. His jokes were like long ass stories. And it was just like, oh my God. I mean, I was embarrassed for him. I was like, get him off the stage. Okay. So, Lakendra is on Reality Checked on Wednesday. So she called it Kinsdays, which I sort of love. I looked it up. She's 41 years old. So when she says I'm a woman of a certain age, her uterus is puffy. It is well made. It is just waiting for a baby in 2025. She is hoping to be pregnant during Christmas time later this year. So she wants to get married. She wants to have a baby. And she tells all of her dates on the first date. So Reza clearly didn't approve of this. He was like, I'm like, Reza, you're a gay man that's been with Adam for 14 years. Let's not give advice to her dating in 2025 at age 41, no baby, no kid, no marriage. And she wants that. So I am all for it. I love her confidence. I love that she didn't back down when they suggested something. I love how she felt about everything. I loved kind of the history of things. Loved how she explained the Amy Phillips of it all, even though I knew most of it. I love that she was a girl's girl and still gave all due respect to Amy Phillips and what she did for her and how she's still doing great. So I loved her on the show. What I didn't love on the show is the Reza trainer story of it all. Like, I know Jeff beats a horse, right? Or beats a dead horse. I'm over it. I mean, first of all, he's with someone for 14 years. So and then the trainer guy is married to a woman with a teenage kid. Like, why do we keep talking about this every freaking time? And Rez has been on a lot lately, so it's a lot, you know what I mean? Um, I'm not loving that, but why is Reza now leaning into it and talking about giving the guy blowjobs? Like, is he serious? Is he saying, I mean, he said more than once today, well, it's just a blowjob. Well, it's not cheating. Well, it's just a BJ. It's just a BJ. In the gay world, that's nothing. I'm like, Jeff claims to hate cheating. So why would he think that's funny, especially someone that's married to a man and Reza's married? Sarah Lee says Reza really shouldn't be giving women advice about anything. I just thought, in 2025, yeah, a woman that's 41, because I looked up her age, wanting to have a child. I mean, she can't exactly hold this off for 10 or 15 more years. You know what I mean? Oh, he needs the $500, Michael. Boy, you are shady today. Michael Riley is shady. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mary says, I certainly hope he's kidding, especially if the trainer listens to the show. Like, I would be like, why don't you joke about something else? Like, don't joke about giving me a blowjob when I'm married to a woman and I have a teenage kid. You know what I mean? Bridget said, and Reza's being such a snob about the how is it spelled? JWPIE. Is it JW Pay? Pie? Somebody tell me how to spell it. Or JWPEI, purses and laboratory diamonds. He wouldn't want anything not real. Read the world. Not everyone can afford it. I do think I do agree with you about the snobby, but I will admit, for me, fake purses, lab grown diamonds, I'm not in the market for a diamond. So I'll just talk about the purses thing of it all. For me, I don't change out my purse a lot anyways, and I don't really need the newest and latest and greatest because I don't even know what the latest and greatest is. I'm not going to change it out, whatever. But for me, a knockoff is not my jam, okay? But that's not being snotty. It's just saying, let everyone else buy it, whatever. It's just not my jam. But I do agree that the way Reza was talking specifically about the laboratory-grown diamonds was like, oh, no, nobody should have that. And I'm like, or you can't tell the difference. I don't know. I mean, Kelty convinced me when Kelty was talking about she had all these jewelry, this bracelet made with all these diamonds, and some of them are laboratory grown and some of them are really high quality, and they couldn't tell the difference. Like, literally, to me, it's almost like saying like, I mean, IVF has now been around forever, right? But that is a baby. Let's be real. That's a baby grown in a lab. It's created in a lab and then put safely into a beautiful woman's uterus, right? To grow for some family. But there was a lot of negativity about that. But at the end of the day, it's a human. Like, no one's going to look and tell that I am IVF or not IVF. So I don't think I don't think no one, well, that sounded good. I don't think anyone's going to realize what a laboratory grown diamond looks like versus one from the earth, as they said. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to go to a store now and ask about, show me two diamonds and see if I could tell the difference. Because, I mean, I worked in a jewelry store for 4 years, y'all, 3.5 years of college. 3.5 years, I worked in a great jewelry store in Houston. So, we had our own jewelry, they did repairs, they did custom jewelry, they did everything. So we definitely had some nice, but, laboratory diamonds weren't a thing back then, right? Christina says, hey, Michael, I saw what you mean about Jeff's face on Vicky's podcast. Yeah, people were sending me pictures yesterday and saying that, anything with the wrong lighting or the wrong stopping point, but it just wasn't a great look. Like Jeff, Shane, Annie, Kian, like all three of those people failed Jeff yesterday. The outfit, the dark shirt on the dark background, the lighting, the everything, it was just bad. Like, they failed Jeff on that podcast for sure. Mabu says, I wouldn't know a real or a fake. I don't look that close. Right. And I mean, I respect that he's Persian and he wants to own that he knows everything about jewelry. I certainly understood a little of their talk about the color and the clarity. I understood like VVS1, VV, E color, D color. I understood all that because I know what all that means. And it is a difference that if you saw one diamond versus a really lower quality, not like right next to it, but a much lower quality, you would notice a difference. Or a bad cut, you'd be like, oh, this one sparkles a lot more. That's all in the cut of a diamond. Oh, Michael said Jeff looked hung over. I wonder when they recorded it. And that's another thing, is I think they could have fixed all those little quirky sounds that they had going on. Someone should have told you, it's not a live podcast. They could have said, hey, Jeff, go add a light to you, like do something. You know what I mean? I don't know. But when would he have done that? Like, okay, Louise says Jeff has definitely had his eyes done. It was so obvious yesterday. May not have been recently, but those eyes are done. I feel like he would have told us, though. I mean, I don't know. Okay, let's keep chatting. Jeff was very clear bringing up the video, the layoffs again. He says, stop DMing me. I am getting DMs. Jameson is. Shane is. Even Doug is. Like, where do we complain? Jeff is like, the no video doesn't impact my salary at all. He said, if it did, I'd be jumping up and down. Y'all, I am very behind on my DMs and the comments because, you know, I was gone all last night and had a very busy yesterday. But I know people are commenting that they're going to get rid, just like Michael Riley said earlier, that they're going to cancel their SiriusXM subscription because they don't listen live. Now that the video is available, and you can fast forward to the commercials if you want to. If there's even, are there even commercials on the video? I can't even remember. I can't remember. There may not even be any videos, which is a bonus. People were listening there, but I get what they're doing. I talked about this yesterday. They are just forcing people to listen to the audio. But if it ends up having people just unsubscribe, that is ultimately going to affect Jeff's, you know, money, his salary. So for him to be a little bit careless and say, oh, this doesn't affect me, but if it did, I'd be jumping up and down. I kind of think you should be jumping up and down because we all bought as subscribers, we bought an app or resubscribed knowing that this video is available on the app. And now they just take it away with no notice, no dip in price, no bonus. Oh, we'll give you 3 months free. None of that. You know what I mean? I don't really use Sirius much for anything, but I do have, like, you know, 80s on 8. I mean, I listen to some other stuff, but, you know, honestly, if I didn't, I've got local radio channels that I could put it on. You know what I mean? Jean White says, what does Reza call his husband? I don't know. Adam? I don't know what you mean. Like honey? Is that what you mean? I don't know. Anyways, AUS girl says, okay, now Jeff tells us what he wants and won't cost him in court. I don't know what that means. Oh, Zaddy? I don't know. Christina says, people are upset that a radio station doesn't want to do video. Well, you got a point. But no, to me, this is like Howard Stern. So in the 90s, I couldn't listen to Howard Stern, but I got hooked on his show from E! Entertainment, videoing the radio show. And so in the 90s, I mean, they would have strippers on, the boobies out, they'd be humping and grinding and moist stuff going on. You could do anything on TV in the 90s, right? But I recorded that and got hooked on. So then I bought his book. Then I went to his movie. Then when my husband years ago surprised me with SiriusXM, it was for Howard Stern. He bought the Howard Stern package for me because he knew when we would go on dates, he would turn it on the Howard Stern radio show for me. Because every time I had the kids, we weren't going to listen to Howard Stern. We had a kids movie in. I mean, I had the DVDs in every car. Every car I've had, except for one van that didn't offer it, has had the DVD players since 2002 when I got my first minivan. So I don't know. I think the video in this day and age, people have gotten used to it. When I talked to y'all last week on, you know, pushing y'all to the podcast, a lot of you were like, no, I want the video on YouTube. Well, that's great, but I'm losing a lot of income personally from not pushing y'all to, or encouraging y'all to listen as a podcast. Because, you know, when I'm watching this podcast course that Sarah Fraser's doing, she's like, don't put your content on YouTube. You're going to make more money as a podcast. But at the end of the day, I'm not willing to make y'all unhappy and only let the live people watch it or delay it to where y'all can watch it later. I'm going to let y'all listen to and watch the video anywhere. So I don't know. I think it is going to affect him eventually. Stern and Call Her Daddy will still have video. Of course, they bring in a lot more money than Jeff Lewis Live, Sarah Lee says. But I think it's only when he was talking to Tinks, it seems like only the video people in LA. So really anyone that does LA, who does LA? Smith Sisters, which they don't really put out a lot of video. In New York, I think we'll keep video. Maybe the people that are in their Nashville, maybe the people that are in their Miami. I don't know. I know. A lot of people are saying that. Deja Monet says, I only have Sirius XM for Jeff Lewis Live. And unfortunately, I'm busy during the live show, so I don't always get to listen live. I'm getting rid of it. So stick around to me so I can tell you what it is. What's going on? What else? He kind of snuck this in. Ty, the Dallas guy is flying in tomorrow evening and staying through Monday. So I sort of agree. This is a big deal because they're not just going out on dates. They are spending 3 to 4 days 24/7 together, like in the bed, in the bathroom, brushing your teeth. You know how Jeff is like, wipe everything down. Don't put toothpaste everywhere. Don't piss on the bottom of don't piss on my toilet. Don't piss at the base of the toilet. I mean, going to dinner, do you chew your food? Do you not? I mean, they are really spending a lot of time together. I think they really like each other. And I love that Jeff even said, I'm really not talking about him because I don't want to ruin this. Of course, he was trying to put in some jabs of Stu. And I'm like, dude, Stu first came on your radio show to promote his book. So eventually when he created seasonings, I think he should have advertised those on the radio, just like he lets Doug advertise the salts from, the seasoning salts from Sultry, Obsessed or whatever it's called. I don't know. I didn't like that dig at all, but you know what I mean? I also liked when Lakendra was like, no porn, no OnlyFans. Like, come to me for all that. Like, she's like, I'm a Christian Southern woman. I think she was born in Florida, maybe raised in Georgia. Don't like her accent. I do not know. I don't know if she's trying. It says actress. When I looked up what her age was, it said she was an actress. So I guess she's maybe been taking her accent away or something, but it sounds wannabe Valley girl or something. I don't know. I just can't figure out what it is. Yeah. Jean White says, I hate changing purses and knockoff is not my jam either. I'm just the person that if you said, oh my God, I love your Chanel, I'd be like, oh, it's fake. I would absolutely tell someone. I mean, my purses are, the real deal. So I'm trying to think if I've ever bought. I'm not that girl. I think I've always had real purses, real designer. I can't think of I don't know. It's just not my jam. Oh, May Boo. Uh-oh. If he was over Stu, he wouldn't keep mentioning him. The same with Stu on his podcast. Both still care about each other. Does Stu still talk about him on his podcast? Oh my gosh. Tiffany Chump said, Lakendra's accent comes out when she talks to other people that are Southern. I think that's like Europeans when they go back to London or whatever, their London accent comes out, or their Irish accent because they're with their family and friends, and then they get into that, whatever. Wow. Oh, Mary's fancy. She says, I change my purse almost every day, depending on my outfit of the day. LOL. What did I do? I must have hit a button. Was I muted for a second? I can't imagine. Like, literally, my girlfriend was picking me up yesterday. I was literally doing my podcast, and then 3 seconds later, I ran and got my purse, went out the front door to meet her, to get in her car. I mean, I can't imagine changing out a purse. Everyone had on like pink stuff for the Mean Girls. And I was like, I didn't even think about what outfit I was going to wear. I was like, what dress? It's going to be chilly. I don't like being cold in a theater. I don't like being cold in a restaurant. So I just wore a long sleeve, long dress. I mean, the picture of me, everyone else looks so cute. All 10 of us took a picture in front of the Mean Girls sign. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got this big garbage bag dress on, but I don't care. It had pink roses on it. You know what I mean? Kimberly J says, I was not born with any desire to own high-end stuff. No low-end stuff, LOL. My moolah goes to concerts, comedy, and traveling. Ooh, I love that. Did I tell y'all I'm going to Becky Robertson and I can't wait. That's going to be so fun. What else? I also love that Lakendra. I just love Lakendra. She works in the LA office. She clearly lives there. She works on Radio Andy. Like, why wouldn't she come on Jeff Lewis Live all the time? You know what I mean? Oh, good question. Jet says, do all your mean girlfriends know about your podcast? So this particular big group is kind of people that we've been friends with for a while. And then they kind of started doing these girly things. So some of it is people that they're friends with, now the dinners are getting, like last night it was 10 of us. Usually it's about 8 of us, and 2 other friends of mine didn't come. Anyways, some of them do, but I definitely don't talk about my podcast with them. I mean, no. But yeah, they do know. Did you see that Fortune is coming to Austin? Yes. I don't think I'll drive to Austin to see her, though. I did fly. I flew to California to see her a couple years ago, but it's really good. Okay, what else? She did bring up that she's a daddy's girl, and the ex-boyfriend did not get along with her dad. She wants her dad to approve of the wedding. My husband went to play golf with my dad, had a few beers, got up the courage to ask my 6'5" Marine dad permission to marry me, and my dad said yes. So I too love that she expects her man to ask permission to marry her from her dad, and she felt already that the dad was not going to be approving because he didn't feel like he could protect and provide for her. So I love that she got out of that relationship, and she's not dogging him. She's like, we're really good friends. But anyways, why did we get into that without talking about RHONY? Like, where are my priorities? We always talk the show and then Jeff Lewis Live. Like, clearly I'm out of it. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Louise. She says she enjoys my food pics. My sister is way into high-end stuff and I love it, but not with my own money. Yeah. And I love other people looking cute. I love that my friends love to put makeup on, get their eyelashes done, their hair, the extensions, the dress, the outfit. Good for you. Clap, clap, clap. It's just not my thing. When I do put on hair, when I do wash my hair and it's down, or I put on makeup, I have a cute outfit on, I feel great, but I just don't do it very often. You know what I mean? Yes, we are going to talk about RHONY in just a second. Then we'll just talk the second hour of, I guess, Jeff Lewis. No, let's just go finish Jeff Lewis. Okay, the caller called in. She is a jeweler, or used to be something. She was kind of convincing me. She's got an almost 6-carat laboratory grown diamond that was like perfection for $5,500. Like, that's insane. I have no idea what a 6-carat diamond would be in 2025. But she said it wholesale would be about $120,000. Like, that's crazy. And she said in the last 5 years, the technology's gotten even better. So now I'm kind of curious, like maybe I would get some lab grown earrings. Like, I wouldn't mind if it was diamond earrings. I don't know. Now my wedding engagement ring is from 1999. So I'm not changing that out. I'm not upgrading it. I love my engagement ring, but no. Christina says, did you like the Mean Girls musical? Meh. But I'd just seen Anne Juliet, and Anne Juliet is so good, so girl power, so uplifting, so go get 'em, Juliet. And then to see Mean Girls, like I never understood the jam with Mean Girls. Like, it's just not my thing. Like, I don't love that people wear pink on Wednesday. Like, no, don't be a mean girl. Don't make other people feel left out. Don't make people feel less than for not having all the friends. I don't love the concept. So when the movie came out, I happened to go see it with 2 different sets of friends and my daughters. So I saw the new movie twice. The original movie, I just don't really remember. Like the whole October 3rd thing, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, it's just not my thing. But so seeing the musical, I'm just like, it's just a movie with songs. So there was, like I said, 10 of us at the show. So I was obviously talking to the 2 or 3 people to the left of me and the one next to me, because we were all spread out on the 10 of us together. But But one girl that was with us is one of the mom's daughters who's 22, sorry. And she was just loving it. And I was just like, I mean, I didn't tell her that, but she was like, oh my gosh, the choreography. And I'm like, this is nothing compared to Aunt Juliet. So no, I didn't love it, but it's just not my jam. I don't necessarily, but I don't love Dear Evan Hansen. I don't love Book of Mormon. I mean, there's shows I don't love. I didn't absolutely love Kinky Boots. I mean, so seen a lot of shows that other people love and I don't really love. So I don't like the concept of it, of like when she made herself as the victim and turned in this burn book with added lies and then tried to make herself I don't know. Just don't love it. So AUS says, of course, no one should accept or support behaving like a mean girl. It's just not my jam. I just don't like lifting that up. You know what I mean? Southern Belle says, I only like musicals live. I can't stand to watch them on TV. I'm odd like that. No, I mean, I love a live show. And of course, this was the live musical, obviously. But anyways, what was good is one of the group thought to call and get group tickets. So for 10 of us, our tickets with the fees were $65 each, which is a very good price. It was opening night, which is usually one of the best cheaper nights, Tuesday night, but it was so good. So good. I don't know. I think Jeff goes right in. That's so interesting. Jean says, I guarantee you that Ty from Dallas is using the guest bathroom. I think to go poo-poo, he's probably going to another bathroom that nobody uses. But I think like the middle of the night, because he's 52 also. I mean, he's around Jeff's age. You know what I mean? So, okay, let's chat the second hour, which was Michael Hitchcock and Kelty Knight. I love Michael Hitchcock, Kelty Knight. I mean, Michael taught me about Guam. I'd kind of forgot that it was part of the USA. Like, where's Guam? What do we do with it? I don't know. He went there recently to perform for the U.S. troops with the groundlings. He talked about Kmart and Pizza Hut. So it kind of made me want to go to like Guam. Kelty taught us about share plums, which I'd never heard of. She was saying $80 and $90. I mean, I don't know. The first thing I looked up on Amazon, it sounds like a poo-poo fruit. Like it's going to really make you go poo. So a quick look, share, SHARE, plums, PLUMS. They are fermented. Doesn't that, it just, the smell, I can just think of what it is. Oh no, they're still available. I thought, oh my gosh, they really did. I thought this said it went up to $265. That's 100 piece of these fermented plums and apricots. Oh God. I put a link up in the Facebook group and on my Instagram story on my Amazon store. I won't be trying this. I am on, it sounds like it's a quick way to lose some weight in your tummy. Like she's coming up for the Grammys. She is already very small, but she says everyone uses it. They're about $30 though, but just getting it down. I don't think I could eat this. Has anyone tried a fermented plum to lose weight? I mean, it's only about $30. You don't eat one you just got to read the directions. I don't know. I guess it's, but someone called in, whoever Natalie is, like Natalie said, she's 5'7", which is how tall I am, 130 pounds, which is very lean. And she uses the share plums. I'm like, what are you shedding? You're 130 pounds. Anyways, the smell, the taste, it's already making my jaws like water, like gross. Ugh. It did not. Christina said, I forgot Mom Talk started another season. It did not. How did I miss that? I'm not. AUS says, I give you credit, Sarah, for trying different things. Culturally, pop culture makes life more interesting. Yeah, life is short. You never know what you're going to, you know what I mean? Lisa says, I don't like musicals at all. Just not my thing. I didn't love a musical until my own kid got into theater and choir. And then, of course, we loved seeing her because she was often the star. She was. And now she's 23 and could care less about being on stage again. I'm like, oh my God, you were so talented in high school. And she did it from 10 to 18. She was so good. Wait, did Mom Talk really start a season 2? How is that not all over my TikTok? I've been way too busy. Somebody explain to Lisa what Mom Talk is, because I get too giddy talking about Mom Talk. Oh my gosh. Okay, don't forget tonight, Flip Off premieres HGTV at 7:00 Central on HGTV. It's only 6 episodes. Jeff is going to be a judge on it. LadyWorld.co, if you've got $75 a month for the rest of your life to pay for September 26 through 28 in Miramar Beach, Destin, which actually is a very beautiful beach. I want to go back to there for sure. They played a game, didn't love it, blah, blah, blah. That's all we have on that. Okay, now let's talk RHONY. I just Googled, oh, Christina, you were wrong. You got me all tingly downstairs for nothing. I just Googled it and says season 2 is spring of 2025. Mary says, I cannot wait for Mom Talk. Oh, Jet says, I did see Phantom of the Opera in LA and it was lovely, but mostly I don't go see live theater. I saw Phantom of the Opera in the original. The original theater in New York City that it played in forever. Oh, so good. Like the mask hangs down. Anyways. No, Tiffany doesn't live in New York City. Some chumpettes want to get together and go to New York City, though. Oh, my goodness. Okay, RHONY, reunion part 1. I don't know how brutally honest I can get about this reunion. I probably can't. So I'll keep it a little light and airy. Best dressed reunion ever. Brynn is watching the season finale right before the reunion. I do not know how she kept it together. Jessel got an iPhone 16 for her 10-year wedding anniversary. And I'm like, okay, like I can, like, anyways, I would be like, whatever. Erin is due April 4th, 2025. Her little baby bump is so cute. They wrapped the filming in June. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember the exact date when they filmed this reunion. So much. Like when Brynn says, just give me this, because I know a lot of you do agree with me and y'all are commenting, and a lot of you are only DMing me saying, I agree with what you said about Brynn, that what Uba said was terrible and that we should give Brynn grace. Brynn, what they started off with is Brynn saying, Erin, you were so rude to me in the beginning. You put me down. And she's like, no, I didn't. I love Erin. Y'all know my love of Erin Leachy from day one. But then the producers cut and they were like, oh, you called her dumb. You called her soulless. You called her stupid. She did put her down in the very first show when they were at that, outside bar. So I don't know. I loved what Brynn was wearing. I didn't like the $7,000 comment when Andy Cohen was like, we need your robe to Jenna. We need your robe for, BravoCon. And she was like, well, I'm thinking of returning it. It was very expensive. It's Balenciaga. And he was like, oh, well, how much? And she goes, $1,500. And even I was like, girl, I mean, that's a lot of money to me. But I was like, you're Jenna freaking Lyons, like $1,500 for a robe and you're going to return it like after you were naked. I mean, you can literally see her boobs. I mean, I think I don't know. I'm sure she had panties on, but it just seemed like you're going to wear it on national TV and then go return it. Anyways, and then Brynn was like, oh, my dress was $7,000 and I paid for it myself. I was like, oh my gosh. Anyways, it's interesting. It's a lot to get into. Like I said, I don't know how much I can say without, the essay of it all. It comes out that she says he was actually courting her attacker. I don't know what word is the right to use. She felt there'd be no proof. It would be her word against his. She just went and took a shower. She didn't want to go to the police and get the rape kit and have to admit everything that happened. She must still see him around town or whatever, because she says she sees him all the time, which has got to be just awful to do. I don't know. All the other girls talking about their experience with abortion seems also equally as bold and what's the word? Just raw to admit, right? On national TV. Like, very proud of them for having the balls to bring that up in 2025 when no one talks about abortion. It turns out a lot of them had experience, or their moms, their dads, what have you. It was a lot. I want to say this, and I don't think I can say much, but I will say all in my brain, and I admit this without having personal experience with SA, so it comes at it from not having a life experience, which would clearly affect my emotions on this if I had a personal experience with SA. I do not have a personal experience with SA. I can only empathize and think about how awful it must have been. When she was saying SA, I guess my brain went to a situation where someone broke in, or she was walking down the street, or I don't know. I definitely, the SA term made me envision something very physical, very cut and dry, like very having proof. Not that the shame isn't still there, but that the proof would have been there. The scratches, the nail, the DNA. I mean, y'all know I watch all the true crime, right? It was news. It was news to me when Andy said, "How did you know the person?" She says, "He was courting me," which is such an old-fashioned term to say. He was courting me. Like, we were dating, we went on a date. I met him at a coffee shop once. Was this your apartment? Like, I don't know. I felt like if she was going to share the details, if it was going to come out, if you're going to share, not the details, maybe it'll come out and I don't know. I got to the very end. I will admit, I think I have about 10 more minutes of the show because freaking the Jeff Lewis Live app was messing up on me. When you have a vision of the word SA, I don't know. I guess the term date rape to me sounds a little more accurate, which is still SA, but it just put a different visual in my head as far as having proof. Not that that means she is easier or harder to go to the police and have a rape kit done and press charges. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, because like I said, it's a really tricky thing to say. And I haven't watched the very end that may have given some of this, whatever. Michael Riley says, Bren is a liar. We're obviously going a few minutes late. Jet says, I think when you or someone really close to you has experience with SA, one of the lasting effects is you are quick to believe everyone is being SA or has been SA. Otherwise, it's unimaginable. What does that mean? You grow to think that everyone has experienced that? I don't know what that means. Yeah. I feel like I've heard Oprah talk about her child abuse, her sexual abuse as a child. And I think she felt like everyone had that. Everyone had that uncle or whatever. And so I do think as a child, Oprah Winfrey personally has talked a lot about that. You know what I mean? Deja Monet said, sadly, a lot of SA does happen in the way Bren described, or even by a partner. Absolutely. And I'm just telling you, for me personally, that just saying SA, I just had a different whatever in my brain. You know, I don't know. It is. It's a hard subject to whatever, because we don't know the details. I know that everyone, I'm sure, struggles, whether it's cut and dry. But I would like to think in 2024, 2025, we are miles ahead in technology, in believing women, and investigations of this stuff, you know, asking other partner. I don't know, just, you know, did they have, you know, stuff underneath their nails, or, yeah, I mean, I don't know. To prosecute them, right? Like Aaron was like, I'm so mad that this guy is still walking around doing this to other people. And I certainly get that, but I think there's a lot of people women in situations where the shame is too much and they don't want to deal with it, especially in a date rape situation where they feel like, well, we're dating, or well, I'm married to him. No. No is no. Like there's really, anyways. Lisa says, happy change of 180. Happy birthday to all of us February and March birthdays. Well, what about January? It's still January here. Okay. Oh, Christina says we're going backwards. Tell me more about that. I'm genuinely curious because I guess I would think the more I obviously thought of the balls it took for anyone to come out in the beginning stages of the Me Too movement, and the beginning stages, the first few people to accuse, say, P. Diddy, the first few people to accuse Bill Cosby. I mean, Bill Cosby was like the Puddin' Pops dude, the dad, the TV, the Cosby Show. I mean, he started all those great TV shows. He had 5 children, married to the same woman. He had a degree in education about children. I mean, he was grotesque. I mean, he's not some hot dude that you'd be like, oh yeah. No, he was drugging and raping women and then threatening them like, no one will ever believe you because I'm Bill Cosby and you willingly came up to my hotel room. Yeah, they willingly came up to your hotel room for mentoring advice or whatever, not to be drugged and, but then you're Bill Cosby. You're not going to. So I would like to say things are better, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go try to find Krista's thing and see if she's responded about why things are worse. Southern Bell Sales says essay is statistically done by someone you know, but don't quote me on that. I have no idea the stats, and I don't think it would be very accurate because I believe there's so much unturned in. I know that's not the word, but people that don't turn in or talk, go to the police. So I think there's essay that, oh, Hugh Hefner did the same thing, Christina says. Allegedly. Michael Riley says Bill Cosby was an awful person. I spent 3 days with him doing a project. Wow. Isn't it so crazy how he maintained that image? Like everyone kept it quiet. You know what I mean? Christina says because of all the new laws seem to be anti-woman. Okay. I don't know. I just think, now they've got, they can internally do exams and see if it was, I don't know. That's a true crime topic, but yeah, crazy. But yeah, there's a lot I want to say, but I do need to finish the very end of it because like I said, the freaking app was messing up. Okay. Anybody want to come on for a question or a comment? Don't forget, if you're an Instagram subscriber, we are going to do a very special Zoom this weekend. So the same time, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, I will put the Zoom link. I cannot message everyone directly with it. And if I did, y'all would still say I didn't get it, didn't see it. So I'm telling you now, and I've been saying I will put it on my Instagram story about 5 minutes before, and then I will put it in the subscriber chat that a lot of you have not joined. So you do have to option into the chat. Then you can option out of the chat if you don't like it. But, good question. Shanda says, could you feel dark energy with Bill Cosby, Michael? Yeah. And you weren't even a woman that he was trying to get up to your room, right? Disgusting. The whole the whole Bill Cosby thing. Lisa says, my DVR is full. Tonight I'll be watching the flip off on HGTV. What's AH? Topper says, I worked with Bill Cosby too. A real AH. Oh, literally couldn't figure out what that meant. The capitalization threw me. I was literally like, I can't think of what that means. Anyways. Okay. Sarah Lee said the stats are available. It's almost always someone you know. But what about when people like break in or... So you're saying that date rape is a lot more common than, I bet date rape is less what's the word? Less turned in, less reported. That's the word. So this is what I'll bet with my uninformed whatever. As a female, I assume essay by a stranger is less common because of not being able to have access and all of that kind of thing. I would assume that a date rape situation essay is a lot more common, like you're saying, but I would assume that's a lot less turned in because it's someone you know. Maybe it's a boyfriend, maybe it's an ex-boyfriend, it's someone, it's your neighbor, they live down the street, you work with them, it's a coworker. You got to still keep seeing them, and the shame from that. But the shame from there's less shame knowing that you did nothing wrong. You were in your apartment, your home, and someone broke in and something, right? Does that make sense? Anyways, okay, we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining live. Please make sure you're subscribed to me everywhere at Sarah from Texas Podcast. If you were listening as a podcast, make sure you hit this 5-star rating and review. I would very much appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow where we will chat Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I guess we can chat a little bit about Flip Off, the new show on HGTV that Jeff Lewis is going to be a judge on. And then, of course, we will chat Jeff Lewis live. Have a fabulous rest of your Wednesday. I have got to go move my body because I've been lounging in my recliner a little too long today. Okay, bye, Chumpettes. Turn my light off.